Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mirror podcast. I'm your host, Kyle David. Happy day. Happy day. It is, I'm recording this on a Friday. I don't know what day it'll be released, but whatever day this episode finds you, I hope it finds you well. I hope you're well. Let's get into it. This is going to be episode 2 of the mini series, the life hack mini series that I kind of started on a whim last week in the middle of the episode on listening. And I just realized that's a simple life hack. And so I should just do a series on simple life hacks, things that can improve your life that are basic, simple, can be implemented today. And listening was number one. I was just going to do the podcast on listening, and I realized this could turn into a little series. So the life hack series was born last week. And episode 2 is here. Here we are, episode 2 of the life hack mini series on Inside the Mirror podcast. Okay, so let's get into it. What are we talking about today? What's the topic of life hack, the life hack series, episode 2? The topic is gratitude. And I've spoken on gratitude before. And if you know me, I'm a big advocate for gratitude. And I think it's a life hack. I really do. It's something I'm implemented in my life over the course of the last, 5 years. And it's not something that I'm perfect at. It's something I still have to work at, as all of us still have to work on things. But gratitude has definitely drastically changed my life. So we're going to talk about it today. What is gratitude? How do you implement it? What does that look like, right? So gratitude, the definition is very basic. I mean, gratitude is being grateful. It's being thankful for what you have. And I will expand upon that. My own definition, I guess, off the top of my head is being grateful and thankful for the things you have where you're at right now, right? So just if you don't understand what gratitude is, maybe you should be spending your time not listening to this. And anyways, I'm sure you're all very intelligent and aware of what gratitude is right now. The hard part in life and anything is not knowing what it is. It's implementing the strategy, whatever it is, whether it's listening, whether it's art or whatever your thing is. It's nice to know what art is, but you're not an artist if you can't implement the strategy of making art, right? Maybe that's a weird analogy, but you get it. You can understand what gratitude is, but it's a whole nother ballgame to actually implement gratitude into your life, right? And again, like I said, this is not something I was always big on or that I always did or was always good at. But it's something I've implemented since I got sober 5 years ago or 6 years ago now. Good Lord. Anyways, 2015, as many of you know, gratitude is preached high and low within the recovery community. And not just because only recovering addicts need to practice gratitude. It's a proven strategy to improve your life. So this is just a life strategy. This is not a recovery strategy or an addict strategy. This is a life strategy. Being grateful is a life strategy. And I'll just share from my personal experience where I was and where I'm at, right? So 2015, I checked into rehab. I spent 30 days in an inpatient rehab facility. And then I got out and I was not fixed as I thought I would be. I thought I'd be fixed. I thought rehab fixes people. Rehab doesn't fix people. Rehab helps you get clean and get dry, as some would say, and give you the tools to then start moving forward in your journey of sobriety. But one of probably the most impactful strategy I took from rehab and just that experience was gratitude, was practicing gratitude. And that's it's just like anything in life. To get good at it, you have to practice. And I think we miss that a lot in life is people want to do things and they just want it to work. I was talking to my mom earlier about how people, they don't understand some of the things I'm doing, that they're like, oh, why isn't this working yet? And I'm like, I've barely begun, right? Patience. So with anything, it takes work, repetition in anything to become good at something, right? I become good at several things because I've repeatedly and persistently just stayed after it, right? And gratitude is one of those things. When 2015, when my fiance at the time and I moved here to Dallas, Texas from Colorado, I took a new job. I was not a grateful guy. I told myself, oh, I'll be grateful for this, be grateful for that, but I didn't feel grateful. And there's something right there. Just because you don't feel something doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, right? well, I don't feel grateful, so I guess I'll just stop acting grateful or saying I'm grateful or looking for things to be grateful for because it doesn't make me feel grateful. That's a bad way to approach anything, right? Like, let's use another example, right? I don't feel motivated, but that's fine. But should you still work hard and be persistent at the things that you're doing? Yeah, you're not always going to feel nice about things. We live in a culture that we base everything on our feelings, right? I want to feel loved. I want to feel happy. And these are good things, right? I'm not knocking love and happiness, right? We should all want to feel loved and happy and fulfilled and satisfied and all those things. But if you're basing your actions on your feelings, it's a slippery slope, man. It's not a good way to approach life, is just going off your feelings constantly. And I'm not invalidating your feelings. The feelings are very valid, but what you do with them or don't do with them is important. If you go, hey, I've been trying to be grateful for a couple of weeks and I just don't feel grateful, so you're going to stop being grateful? How does that make any sense? It doesn't, is the answer. So again, in 2015, when I came down here, I was not a grateful guy. I was angry, bitter. I still had a lot of work to do. I just was now not using the substances, right? I wasn't drinking and using drugs, but I was still angry, bitter, not grateful, ungrateful would be the word. And I had a lot of issues. So I had, but here's the thing, and not to toot my own horn, but I stayed persistent daily of writing down or thinking of things I was grateful for every morning. When I would drive to work on 121, if some of y'all know Dallas, Texas, when I would drive to work on 121, I would just try to thank God for the things I had. And I didn't feel good about it for a long time, but I did it every single day because I knew it was the right thing to do. I knew being grateful was a good thing. It didn't make me feel good right away. I didn't feel grateful. And there's still days where I don't feel grateful. I feel ungrateful and I have to catch myself. But I'm now years into this practice of gratitude, daily gratitude. And now I feel much more grateful. Today, I'm grateful for so much, right? Like I write down in my journal frequently, I'm grateful for the sewer system, that I can just flush the toilet and it's gone. Grateful for electricity, that I can just turn the light on. If any of you lived in Texas, or anywhere that's been without power, I guess, you know how much you're grateful for electricity when the power comes back on. And you realize how ungrateful or how much you took it for granted when you did have it, right? I'm grateful for clean water. I don't know if you guys know, but there's close to 1 billion people, I believe, in the world that don't have access to clean drinking water. We have so much to be grateful for, and our culture does not champion gratitude the way it should, because that's basically foundational to what do you want to call happiness, joy, fulfillment in life, satisfaction. If you're contentment, if you don't learn to be grateful, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to be content. I promise. I'll take that one to the bank, baby. If you are not able to become grateful in life, you're not going to find happiness. You're not going to find joy. This is foundational to your emotional success, mental success, and achieving these things that everybody wants: happiness, joy, comfort, right? Maybe not comfort, happiness and joy, these things that we want. Well, how do you get there? Again, gratitude is foundational. It's laying the foundation for them being able to be happy and joyous. Because when you're grateful, you put yourself in a position to experience happiness. You put yourself in a position to experience joy. When you're ungrateful and you're like, oh, they have more than me and I don't have this and this isn't working. Even hearing that, does that sound like you're on a path towards happiness and joy? No, you're not. So again, going back to this being a life hack, this is a practical step you could take right now to position yourself and aim yourself towards happiness, joy, these things that we all speak that we want. But are we doing the things it takes to get there, right? Happiness is not something that's just going to fall on your head. Joy or contentment in life aren't just going to drop from the ceiling when you turn the lights on in the morning. What work are you doing to achieve happiness? What work are you doing to achieve joy in life? Again, here's a life hack. Start practicing being grateful for the things that you have. It shifts your mindset. It's a mindset game. Life is a mindset game. Your life is lived in your mind. Everything you experience happens in your mind. So you have to do things that are going to put you on a trajectory mentally to experience what you want. We'll use this analogy, right? If you're building a house, you can't just, a home builder doesn't just have a blueprint and then within a week go, why isn't this house up? This house isn't built yet. Well, what does he have to do? He has to take steps to get there. First, the foundation has to be laid. Then they have to frame it up. They got to sheetrock, drywall, run electrical. I mean, these are the steps to eventually looking at a finished product, a final house, a final home, right? It's the same with life. If you want something, you have to then do the work and lay the foundation and take the steps it takes to get there, right? Like if you want your final destination to be a life of joy and happiness, what are you doing to get there? Or are you doing anything? And if you're not, again, life hack, let me help you. Being grateful is foundational to joy, happiness, contentment, and these things that you want in life. If you're not grateful for the things you have, you'll never be grateful with more things, right? Like if you're not grateful with the job you have today or the home you have today or the car you drive today or the whatever means of transportation you have today or the finances you have today or the things you have today, if you're not grateful for what you do have today, you will not be grateful for the things you have tomorrow or in the future. You'll never be happy. Without gratitude, you'll never be happy. So again, this is the life hack series because these are simple life hacks, man. Listen to other people. Be grateful. These are not mind-blowing things. It goes back to my theory and thesis, whatever you want to call it, my outlook on the world and the statement I like to say, which is this. Life is not complicated. Life is simple. It's just hard. Life is simple. It's just hard. We complicate life. Life doesn't have to be complicated. We can simplify it by implementing these tactics, right? Listening to people, being kind, listening to people, being grateful. Those are simple things to help your life. It's not a complicated thing like, I don't know how to be happy. Well, are you being kind? Are you giving things to other people so you can receive? Are you being grateful for the things you have? No? Well, then of course you're not happy. It's not rocket science. And I'm not psychoanalyzing anybody, but if you're not grateful for things, I could tell you probably why you're not happy. So again, I want to share these with you guys because it's things I've done. Again, I'm not going to share with you guys things I heard about or I think are good ideas. I'm only going to talk about things I know, things I've done. Again, I'm not perfect at it, but I practice gratitude. And there are times, guys, where you're not going to feel it, but your brain can logically go, yeah, I do have a lot, right? I do have a roof over my head. I have food. I have clean water. I do have electricity. The trash can, I don't have to carry my trash to the landfill, right? You got to think in basic terms. You may not have a lot, right? You may be living check to check, paycheck to paycheck, and you may not know if you're going to be able to get all the bills paid. But what do you have right now? You can still be grateful for things right now and still be working towards other things. We live in a culture and a society that doesn't teach us that. We live in a culture that says more, do more, get more, and eventually you'll be happy, right? Eventually, if you get a wife and have kids, you'll be happy. Eventually, and that's a problem, right? Because we're putting our stock and happiness into other people and other things when you already have it in you. You can choose to be grateful and put yourself on a path towards happiness without a wife, without a good job, without a lot of money, without much other than water to sustain life. You can still put yourself on a path towards happiness and joy by practicing gratitude right where you're at with what you have today. So I would challenge you, what do you have today to be grateful for? If you say, I don't have anything to be grateful for, you're misinformed. You do. Are you wearing clothes? Yes. You're not walking around naked everywhere. Then you have something to be grateful for, right? It's a mind shift. It's a perspective change. That's what life is. Life is all about mindset. Life is all about your perspective, right? Do you see the glass half full or half empty? Again, these are basic, simple things, and we think they're too simple to actually work. And I'm here to tell you, as someone that's done it, Gratitude is not too simple to work, but you have to be consistent with it. You have to be intentional, and you have to not just be so short-sighted that you're just looking for quick feelings. Again, think of Jeff Bezos. I like to use Jeff Bezos as an example of, I guarantee that guy didn't feel encouraged and motivated every single day, but he just stayed persistent day after day, month after month, year after year after year after year. Persistence. Now he has what he was working towards all along, but he didn't have it right away. Anything in life, right? Like, I'm building my own brand. Be Kind, Kind Products. If you know me, you kind of know about Kind Products, the brand I'm building. It's not scaled. It's not big. Very few people know of Kind Products. Very few. That's because I just started it. I'm laying the foundation. This is something that's going to grow over the next decade, right? I don't expect this brand to bring in millions of dollars today. That's silly. It's silly. I'm laying the foundation. I'm doing the work to put myself in a good position in the future. And that's what you should do with your life. Do the work today to put yourself in a position to be happy and joyous in the future. There's no magic pill or switch for happiness and joy. It takes work. It takes work. You want to live a more fulfilling life? Start doing the work. Start being grateful. Start being thankful for the small things you have in life. Put yourself on a path that's headed towards happiness and joy. An ungrateful attitude is headed away from happiness. Let me say that again. An ungrateful attitude is headed away from joy and headed away from happiness. You are not on a path towards happiness by being ungrateful. We are spoiled in America. Some of you don't like to hear that. We are spoiled in America. We have electricity, running water, cars, everything we could think of at our fingertips. They don't have that in every nation. We have more than most of the world. And I know that not everybody, I know there's a huge radical movement that's anti-America, anti-freedom and all this. Those folks are ungrateful. And if you're one of them, I'm not attacking you, but I am calling out some things you need to work on. If you are anti-America and anti-freedoms and think this country sucks, you're ungrateful. Now, let me say this. I understand the past of America and the sins this country has committed. And we've done a lot of work to move past those. Sure, there's still wounds. But from an overall view, do you have more than the rest of the world? Do you have more to be grateful for than most people? Yes. Do you have more to be grateful for than the people that walk several miles to get clean water every day? You have much more than them. Remember that. We are spoiled. We are so spoiled. We forgot to be grateful. All we want is more and more and more. We want things given to us. We want to be happy right now. We want to have this right now. We want to succeed right now. We don't want to work hard for a decade to make something happen, whether it's building a business or being happy. We don't want to work hard for a decade to make these things happen. We want it now. And you're not going to get it now because that's not how life works. You don't just do a few easy things and then great things happen. Great things take sacrifice. They take hard work. But here's a life hack. A life hack, so that doesn't seem so ominous. Just be grateful for something today. Wake up tomorrow and be grateful for something tomorrow. Write it down. Write it down. Write down 5 things each morning. It will take you 10 seconds. Food, water, clothes, car, shelter, whatever your things are. Again, mine's a more extensive list because I really like to dive deep and really think like, well, a cell phone. I got a cell phone, man. There are people all over the world that would love to have this supercomputer that they don't have. People around the world that would love access to all the clean drinking water I have. So basic, we take for granted, take advantage of. So many people would love to have a trash service where they don't live actually in their trash. I think we forget that there are nations where people just dump trash and feces in the streets, and kids are dying because they have diarrhea and their guts are being infested because they live in trash and germs and bacteria and filth, and kids are dying. This is a huge problem in some nations in Africa and other continents, where massive amounts of children are dying because they live in filth, because there's no trash removal system. There's not clean drinking water. So The next time you want to complain about some onions in your quesadilla when you went out to eat, remember that there are people that are dying because they don't have water, clean water. Come on, folks. I'm fired up because it's real. What are we doing? What are we doing complaining about all these things? Become grateful. My dad spent a lot of time in Africa when I was younger, a lot of time. Kenya, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, Nigeria, multiple times, many months over there. And he could tell you firsthand, some of those people are the most grateful people he ever met. My dad's been in a lot of nations, met with a lot of people. And he said some of the most grateful people are those people in poverty in Africa because they don't have much, right? Sometimes our curse is we have too much. We have too much. We forget to be grateful. We're comfortable. Comfort is dangerous. These people are uncomfortable. So what do? They're grateful for the few things they have, and they cling to those things. Their family, their friends, their faith. Come on, get with me. Come on. As my pastor, Todd Wagner, would say, come on, church. Come on, church. I love you, Todd. I miss you, bro. Anyways, guys, life hack. Today, be grateful for a few things that you do have. And I want to end this by being compassionate and let you hear, I know I get fired up, but also I have plenty of compassion for people that are struggling. Again, I've been there. I haven't always had a great mindset, and I don't have a perfect mindset, but I used to have a terrible mindset. I was ungrateful, negative. So I'm very empathetic to wherever you're at in your journey, but I want to help you. Whether you're very grateful, keep it up. Your life will be exponentially better over the course of the next few years if you continue to practice gratitude and just being grateful for things, being thankful for the things that you have today where you're at. And if you're not in that place where you are ungrateful and you can't be grateful for anything, you can't be happy about the things you have, it's on you. No one else is going to come sprinkle some magic grateful fairy dust on you. You're just going to be grateful and happy all of a sudden. Good things take work. And if you want to be happy, lay the foundation by starting to be grateful for what you have and then build upon that, right? So I think I've made my point clear. I love you guys. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to continue the life hack mini series. I really like it. These aren't going to be super long, hour-long episodes, but I think hopefully they'll be juicy and full of things that you can take and practical. Again, hopefully this is very practical. You can start it right now. When you stop listening or stop watching, grab a pen and paper, think about a few things and write them down. And just go, I'm grateful I have this. Right? You can do it today. You can do it today. Be grateful for what you have, where you're at right now today. Love you guys. I'll be back soon with another episode of Inside the Mirror podcast. Adios.